Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Before we start the class, if you have any question from yesterday's class or from previous classes. Anyone? किसी को कुछ पूछना है? Are you able to see the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will discuss the tax multiplier today. अगर आपका कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है तो क्लास स्टार्ट करें या 5 मिनट वेट करना है?
मैम स्टार्ट कीजिए.
Okay, so good morning once again. Yesterday we were trying to understand this various types of multiplier, and we have talked about two types of multiplier: government expenditure multiplier and investment multiplier, or you will say simple investment multiplier. Now the third multiplier is the tax multiplier. As I was trying to tell you yesterday, when we talk about taxes, so taxes can be of two types: lump sum taxes and ad valorem taxes or income based taxes. Ad valorem is a traditional term for value added. Earlier economists used to call it ad valorem. Now everyone calls it value added. When you say value added, it is based on income or output or sales. Okay. Lump sum is a one-time tax, is a one absolute amount of tax. So generally in our economy, in Indian economy, we have a mix of these two taxes. Certain taxes are lump sum, certain taxes are ad valorem. Like if you will see the electricity bill or the telephone bill or the water bill which comes to your house, then you will find these two categories there. When government imposes tax, electricity duty on the electricity consumption, so for a certain amount there is a fixed for a certain unit of consumption. Up to a certain unit of consumption, the tax amount remains fixed, and after that, as the number of units consumed of electricity increases, the duty also increases or the value also increases. Similarly, you will find several examples where up to a certain limit, the amount of tax remains constant, and after that, it becomes value added. As the value is increasing, the tax will increase. So if there are two types of taxes, we write taxes like this. You can write T0, you can write TA. In both cases, this tax is lump sum tax or the autonomous tax, which does not depend on the level of income. Okay. And the second part of tax is written as TY, which depends on income. So TY is the tax component which depends on income, and TA is the tax component which is irrespective of the income level or independent from the income level. So we will take one by one and we will try to understand. So you are saying Y is equal to C plus I plus G. Okay. Now you are defining I as constant or autonomous, I as I0, G as G0, C, T as T0. So there are no income based taxes, there are no value added taxes, but it is only the lump sum taxes. And then you are defining your C as C0 plus C Y minus T. Okay. So C will be written as C0 plus CY minus CT. And this CT is CT0. Up to now, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when we are trying to understand the tax multiplier, we will say that delta Y will be equal to delta T plus delta G, because we are assuming that rest of the things remain constant, assuming that I0 remains constant. So we want to understand that how much will be the change in income if the taxes and government expenditure changes. Okay. So let us first see that if G changes, but T remains 0. T does not changes, only G changes. Okay. So now your delta Y, okay, first let us write here Y is equal to C0 plus CY minus CT0 plus I plus G. Okay, so this is the final situation. If you have to find out that how much will be the income, this will be the equation which you will use. Now we want to find out delta Y. So delta Y will be equal to C0 plus C delta Y plus C T0. Why? Because taxes are not changing. Okay. Right now taxes are not changing. So we are writing TT0 plus I0 plus G0 plus delta G. Okay. So now what, now what we will do, delta Y minus C delta Y is equal to C0 minus C T0 plus I0 plus G0 plus delta G. Okay. So now because there is no change in this component, there is no change in these components. So wherever there is no change, it will automatically become 0. So then you are writing as delta y 1 minus c is equal to C0 plus I0 plus G0 plus delta G okay. So again 1 upon 1 minus C delta y is equal to delta G. So even if there are taxes, but because we have assumed that T0 remains constant, okay. So if T0 remains constant, or if taxes are 0, there are no taxes, government only spends. So if T0 is, if the, I'm writing here, if T0 is equal to 0, we are not saying that T0 is constant, but we are saying T0 is 0, is equal to 0. That's how this term becomes 0. And we are left with rest of the positive terms. And finally, we are arriving here. Or you are saying delta y by delta g is equal to 1 upon 1 minus c. C, which is MPC. So you can say that the ratio of change in income to government expenditure is equal to the value of multiplier. Okay, 1 upon 1 minus C is the multiplier. Is it okay? Are you able to understand this?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please repeat it again.
Okay. See, you are saying y is equal to C plus I plus G. Okay. Now, why you are writing this? Because we are talking about a 3-sector economy. 3-sector economy. So y is equal to C plus I plus G. Now you are saying that, now let us define few things. You are saying I0. I is equal to IA. G is equal to GA. Why I am writing IA or GA? Because it is autonomous. Okay. T is equal to TA. C is equal to CA plus CY minus T. So if you try to simplify it, then it will be CA plus CY minus CT. Now you define your income. So now the income is equal to CA plus CY minus CT plus IA plus GA. Okay. So this will be your income in a 3-sector economy. Now we want to understand the process of multiplier. Process of multiplier. Multiplier is what? Change in income, change in Y due to change in autonomous variables. Up to now we are defining like this. So the autonomous variables, the autonomous variables can be IA, can be GA, can be TA, can be CA. but we are assuming that CA remains constant. Try to pay attention to this. CA and IA remains constant. TA is equal to 0. That means there are no taxes. There are no taxes. Although in reality, there will be no country where government is spending and government is not imposing any taxes. But this is just for the assumption there are no taxes. Okay. So now delta Y, change in income, will be equal to change in consumption plus change in income, investment plus change in government expenditure. Now, because you are assuming that IA remains constant, I remains constant, C remains constant. Why C remains constant? Because neither the autonomous consumption is changing, neither the MPC is changing. Okay. So now Y plus delta Y. I'm trying to extend it. Okay. Please understand this. CA plus C delta Y minus C T. Why? Because you have assumed that CT is 0. Okay. Okay. Let me write like this so that you can understand it better. Plus delta I plus minus CT plus C delta T plus I plus delta I plus G plus delta G. So Y plus delta Y, if you are trying to find out the previous level of income and the change in the income, this will be equal to this. Okay. But let us simplify this. You are saying because T is 0, TA is equal to 0. So if you put 0 in place of delta T, and if you put 0 in place of T, because the value of T is 0, so then T is equal to 0 and delta T is equal to 0, then what you are left with, Y plus delta Y is equal to CA plus C delta Y minus term will be removed because everything becomes 0. This whole will become 0. Okay. Plus I plus delta I. Now delta I, again you are assuming that there is no delta I. So there will be no delta I plus G plus delta G. So then you try to simplify it and you will arrive at the same thing. Delta Y is equal to 1 upon 1 minus C into delta G. Okay. So this is what government expenditure multiplier and T is equal to 0. Okay. Now, if G remains constant and only T changes, Please pay attention to this. Okay, government expenditure remains constant. So that means delta G is equal to 0. But delta T is positive. There is some change in delta T. There is some change in taxes. So now how it will look like? See, delta Y is equal to C0 plus C delta Y minus C delta T okay. Now try to solve it. Delta Y minus C delta Y is equal to C0 minus C delta T. Okay. So then you will do 1 minus C delta Y is equal to C0 minus C delta T. So when you will simplify this, so because C0 is not changing, so let us not include this and we keep this. So this is your tax multiplier. And the important point is that the tax multiplier is always negative. Why it is negative? Because you can understand that there is a minus MPC component here. So now suppose if you have derived this, you are saying that C, which is equal to MPC, is equal to 0.75. And in the yesterday's example, if you remember, we changed the I or G by 25 units. So let us say that delta T is equal to, 50 units, okay? So let us say that delta T is also equal to 50. So now try to understand what is happening. Delta Y is equal to minus 0.75 divided by 1 minus 0.75 into 50. Now try to solve this.
Minus 150.
Ma'am, minus 1.50.
Okay. So how much will be the value multiplier? Can you tell me?
Minus 1.50.
So
Ma'am, minus 150.
no,
Yes,
are you
ma'am,
telling me the change in income or are you telling me the value of multiplier? Minus 1.50 is the value of multiplier?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Minus 1.50.
Okay. So tax multiplier. See what everyone has done, or all those who are able to do this, what we are doing. 0.75 divided by 0.25 is equal to 3. Are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
why for me it is
150.
coming out 3 and for you it is coming out to 1.5? Am I making any mistake or you are making a mistake?
Ma'am,
No, ma'am, 3 is correct.
So please be careful in calculating everything. Try to understand that you are trying to find out the change in income. There are two components. 1 is the change, 1 is the multiplier value. Okay, this will give you the multiplier value, and this is the change in taxes. So let us don't multiply this 0.75 by 50. Okay, first go step by step. First try to find out the value of multiplier. So the value of multiplier is coming out to be 3. So tax multiplier is equal to 3. But because there is a minus sign, so this will be minus 3. Not only 3, but minus 3. So if in the exam it is asked to calculate the tax multiplier, you will be only writing minus 3. Okay. Now you want to find out that if the tax multiplier is minus 3, how much is the change in income? So delta y is what? So now delta y is equal to minus 3 into 50. That means delta y will be equal to minus 150. So how do you explain this? If the lump sum taxes, please pay attention to this, lump sum taxes increases by 50 units, value of tax multiplier
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Okay, I lost the connectivity. Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है मैम.
No, ma'am.
Is it okay now? You see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the voice okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So what we were trying to understand is that if you do all these calculations, have you seen these calculations, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now how do you write it? Suppose you get similar type of question in the exam. So what you are writing, that if the lump sum taxes increases by 50 units, value of tax multiplier is -3, that is negative, and the change in income is -150. That's income decreases by 150 units. So now I hope you are able to understand it clearly. With government expenditure multiplier, the income increases, but with the tax multiplier, income will always decrease. If the taxes are going up, income will decrease. If the taxes are going down, if the taxes are decreasing, then only the income will increase. So do you remember from the yesterday's class, when we increased the G by 50, how much was the increase in Y?
200.
200, ma'am.
So now see. Now let us understand this. Suppose delta G is equal to 50 and delta T is equal to 50. So now what will happen? Delta Y by delta G is equal to 1 upon 1 minus C, right? Which is equal to 1 upon 1 minus 0.75, which is equal to 4. But delta Y by delta T is equal to minus C, 1 upon minus C, upon 1 minus C is equal to -3. Okay. So the increase in income, therefore, when delta G is equal to 50, delta Y is equal to 200, but delta T is equal to 50, then delta Y is equal to -150. So if delta Y is equal to delta G plus delta T, then 200 plus -150. That means how much is the increase? It is only 50. Okay. So if G and T are changing together, we are able to find out that the final impact on the income is only 50. Okay. Now,
Ma'am, please repeat that point once again.
see, what you are saying is that in the 3-sector economy, because we are talking about 3-sector economy, so in the 3-sector economy, Y is equal to C plus I plus G, and at the same time, Y is equal to C plus S plus T. Okay. Therefore, change in income, that is delta Y, will be equal to change in G plus change in taxes. Now you know that change in G will always bring a positive change in income. but change in taxes will always bring a negative change in income. So the net impact on change in income, the net impact on income will be the summation of these two, positive and negative values. So that's how finally you get only 50 units increase in income. If only government expenditure is changing, there is 200 units change in income. But along with government expenditure, if taxes is also changing, then there will be minus 150 decrease in income. So the net result will be only 50. Okay. Now, theoretically it is said, if G is equal to T, theoretically we are saying, okay, then the net impact on income can be explained as delta Y is equal to 1 upon 1 minus C into delta G plus minus C 1 minus C into delta T. That is, so if you try to solve it, 1 minus C divided by 1 minus C into delta G plus delta T. Okay. So this is known as balanced budget multiplier. Which is always equal to unity. In case of balanced budget multiplier, if the government is increasing the taxes and government expenditure by such units that the value of multiplier turns out to be 1. When it will turn out to be 1? When the value of government expenditure multiplier is 4 and at the same time the value of tax multiplier is also minus 4. So in that situation, you will find that the balanced budget multiplier value will be equal to 1. Okay, so in this case, there is no impact on income, because whatever increase in income takes place due to the government expenditure, it is the same amount is reduced by the tax change in taxes. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So finally what we are saying, government expenditure multiplier is always positive. Tax multiplier is always negative. Balanced budget multiplier is equal to 1 when G is equal to T. Okay. Although in our example, we are having a positive impact on government on income due to government expenditure, right? So that's not a balanced budget multiplier situation, but because government expenditure is more powerful, that is why we are having a situation where there is at least 50 units positive change in the income. But balanced budget multiplier is a theoretical situation where the value of multiplier is equal to 1. That means whatever change in G will take place, the equal change in the income will take place. Now you come back to the calculations again. Can you see it here? 50. So this 50 is just equal to delta G. Can you see it here?
Yes, ma'am.
So this delta G and delta Y are both equal. So actually the multiplier effect is not taking place. Why? Because the taxes are also increasing by the same amount. So therefore the value of multiplier will be the impact on income is 0 because the income is changing just by the amount by which the government expenditure is changing. Now, if there is any confusion or you want to clarify anything, please tell me.
Please explain when delta y is equals to 1 minus c upon 1 minus c into.
Okay. See, understand this. We are trying to understand the one important concept, which is balanced budget multiplier. If you are able to see the term, you are saying balanced budget multiplier. That means government is making a balanced budget. That means government is financing the expenditure by the same amount of taxes. Government is not borrowing anything, or government has enough amount of resources generated through taxes. So that is why it is known as balanced budget. Balanced budget is a situation when there is no deficit, surplus in the budget. No deficit, no surplus. Why? Because G is equal to T. Whatever government is spending, it is generated through tax revenue only. So now you are saying that suppose delta G is equal to 50 and delta T is also equal to 50. So the change in government expenditure and taxes by the same amount. So now what will be the impact on income? Delta Y will be equal to delta G plus delta T. Okay. Now delta Y is phi by delta G is the change in income due to the change in government expenditure is equal to 1 upon 1 minus C, and change in income due to change in taxes is equal to minus C 1 upon 1 minus C upon 1 minus C. Okay. So now if we want to find out the total impact, so the total impact. So you are saying total impact is equal to delta G plus delta T. Or you are saying delta Y by delta G plus delta Y by delta T. So delta Y by delta G is equal to 1 upon 1 minus C plus I by delta is equal to minus C 1 upon C. So if you add these together, what you will be getting? 1 minus C by 1 minus C. That will be equal to 1. Okay. So that this is the situation of balanced budget multiplier. So what does this 1 indicates? When the value of balanced multiplier is what happens? The change in income is just equal to the change in G. That is no multiplier effect. So this is something which theoretically is explained a lot. So classical economists will always propose that there should be a balanced budget multiplier situation, because it will not create any adverse impact on the economy. Why it will not create? Gradually you will understand that every time increasing the government expenditure is not advisable, because it has a cost. When government has to increase the expenditure, government has to find out sources to fund that expenditure or finance that expenditure. So from where the resources will come? Either the government will increase the taxes to generate more revenues, either the government will borrow from the market or from the banks, or government can print money. Government can central bank to print new money. So the impact of government expenditure on the whole economy depends on the method of financing this public expenditure, because this expenditure cannot increase just like that. Okay, so that is why this balanced budget multiplier concept is important. Keynes emphasizes more on government expenditure, but classical economists say that if there is government expenditure, there will be taxes also. So it is better that if the multiplier is equal to 1, so that will not create any adverse impact on the economy. I hope it is clear now.
Ma'am, in the example, why I have written only the lump sum tax only?
I am still left with talking about ad valorem taxes. So in the next class, we will do the value added taxes, how the multiplier formula will look like if you have ad valorem taxes also. And at the same time, we will talk about import multiplier or foreign trade multiplier. Why we are taking only lump sum taxes, please understand. Whenever we talk about any theory in economics, we always start with assumptions. So here the assumption is that there are only lump sum taxes. There are no income-based taxes. But in the actual economy, there will be lump sum taxes as well as income taxes. So we can include both of them. But just to keep the thing simple, we are doing this. Okay, there is nothing else here left. It is just assumption. Now, see, this is one link. Maybe you can use to understand the working. I'm posting 2 links, okay? If anything is left to be understood, you can use this and you can try to understand this. This is a good explanation. Copy these 2 links, or you can click on these 2 links and open it. If you want to read anything, you can just refer to this. If you are not able to get it through the book, then maybe you can use these 2. you will understand the working of multiplier. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see you in the next class. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.